Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our live recorded sessions of... Oh, shoot, I didn't mute the mic. Sorry. That's gonna throw me off. Okay. I tried to be professional. That didn't work. Welcome back to our live readings of ReZero, Arc 6. We're reading chapters 57 and 58 today. We have finally wrapped up our callback process for all of the characters for the upcoming Arc 7, Arc 8 casting. So thank you everyone who auditioned. If you did not hear back or haven't checked your casting call club, unfortunately we didn't move forward with you. Thank you so much for your time, effort, and energy. Over 900 auditions was so hard to narrow things down. We are waiting on our last few mail-in callbacks, and they are due tomorrow at 11 a.m. But I think I got them all in today. So after stream, I'm going to check them out. We're going to have our final casting, announce it to the new cast tomorrow morning. And then you guys will join us on Friday at 7 p.m. EST for another stream where we introduce our new cast. I'll have a welcome in video with their voices in their characters. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to play a round of Jeopardy with the newbies. We're going to reminisce over the past almost 5 years of Reverie. And we're going to talk about what we're planning for Arc 7 and 8. Because we are getting close to the end of Arc 6, reading it live. So we are making some progress with the recorded, the well-edited final versions of the chapters. We're waiting on some voice actors, so I will be contacting them later today, early tomorrow to check in. Otherwise, we will be introducing our new understudies to help us complete Arc 6 so we can start posting that finally, because our amazing Common and Greenie have been editing behind the scenes, and they have several chapters done. I think they're up to like 15 chapters edited, so they are good to go. Podcast people, you have finally been fed. You're welcome. The newest podcast comes out this Friday for the public, but everyone else who is a member has both phases of Arc 9, Phase 3, A and B out now. So I hope you enjoy. The boys and I will be taking a break this week because Gold's on vacation. We're going to go back next week. We're going to do my reactions to Arc 6 because I'm slowly reading through Arc 6, 7, 8, and 9, trying to catch up. So I'm going to have a reaction video with the boys coming up. That being said, let's bring in our cast and let's keep reading Arc 6. All right. Y'all live. Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
I stopped myself just in time. Hi.
I always leave you muted nowadays. I'm just like, you know what? I'll roll in, announce, and then unmute. Just in case. All right. As always, let's introduce ourselves in the Discord call top to bottom. We got a new face here. So, Connor, start us off.
Hello, everyone. I'm Connor. I'm your voice for Julius and Rom during the live recordings. One of the hosts of the ReZero podcast, which has returned to YouTube the past couple of weeks. And one of the managers of the whole project. Glad to have everyone here.
Woohoo.
Hello, Greenie here, one of the editors of Studio Reverie. Just vibing here. I got out of the basement for now. Well, a different kind of basement.
Now he's in the car.
Yeah, you're not out of the woods yet, buddy.
He's on the run. He's escaping.
Can't escape us.
Hello, everyone. I am Common, the voice of Maylee for our readings, as well as an editor for Studio Reverie. It's nice to see you all again.
Yay. I'm Kyles. I'm your Amelia, and backup Shala, Anastasia. Yeah, and that's it today. I'm here. I'm vibing.
Hello, I'm Sean. I believe I'm the new face she mentioned. I will be narrating chapter 57, and I hope I don't kill all your eardrums.
You'll do great. You've got this.
You've got
Hey,
this.
everybody. I am Tealdi. I'll be narrating chapter 58, and I am stand-in Beatrice for the live reads, I suppose.
Yay.
Hello everyone, Wolf here. I'm your Subaru. I also co-host the ReZero podcast, which I've been very proud of these past couple of weeks, won't lie. I'm also super duper excited for today! I really like these chapters, so I'm really excited to go through these ones.
Yay!
Woo!
Yes, indeed.
Chilled, yes, I did just make you a mod. You've been working as a mod basically this whole time. So while I was at it for Eli, Eli in the chat is a part of Witch Cult Translation. So I thought I'd make him a little mod while he's here. You guys can
Promoted.
send him praise in the chat, because if it wasn't for Witch Cult, we would not be here today.
Thank you so much, Witch Cult.
Okay, Witch Cult.
Thank you so much, Witch Cult.
Also, shout
Thank
out
you.
to our collaboration with the ReZero Reddit, and as well as the ReZero Discord
awesome.
server too. So, yay! We love working with our communities. Yay!
Woo!
Ah.
Huh.
Pachi pachi.
Pachi pachi. Look at us. We're professionals now. Connections.
After
tell anyone.
the work we've been doing the last couple weeks, we better. Like, that's
Yeah.
actual experience.
Yeah.
Oh, this week has been crazy. I'm
Like,
thankful.
Kyle's add casting director to your resume now at this point.
Yay! I'm also working on my artwork now. We've been trying to find consistent sprites and stuff, and Wolf's like, why don't you just learn? So every day I watch the PewDiePie video. I'm gonna make one too. After 30 days, I'll show you my progress. I'll do my progress reports every couple months. But I'm determined. But it's
Draw
getting
forever.
better. It's not bad. So it's okay. It still looks like an 8th grader drew it, but you know, that's okay.
I have made
Everybody
one piece of
starts
art
somewhere.
that was not worth throwing in the trash immediately
That's
You made
in
one
my
piece
entire
art?
life.
The
Hmm?
One Piece?
If the One Piece is real.
You said One
Uh,
Piece, dude. You said One Piece.
Yeah. You know, I'm not after a swimsuit, so.
Oh my god.
No, that's what the One Piece is. That's my genuine theory, is that it's going to be a swimsuit that will let people who've eaten devil fruits be able to swim and make them, like, not have the weakness of their powers.
That'd be pretty funny, actually.
The name of the show is written the way that Japanese writes a One Piece swimsuit, so it wouldn't surprise me.
You got insider lore.
Who
Just a bit.
Language law.
Oh,
knew we would get the One Piece lore?
I'm not gonna
in a
say-
Zero server.
I'm not gonna say what the theory is, but I liked your theory in the Phase 2 podcast, Connor.
The gluttony's theory that I had?
No, for what's gonna happen. I can't really
yes,
specify,
of course.
Mm.
Yeah.
but I like that
Yeah.
theory a lot.
We've got some good ones. We've cooked a lot in those last few podcasts.
Yeah, dude, I thought I was putting on the Chopped game show. I was like, wait, I thought I was into a podcast on a cooking show.
Hold on, let
It's
them
the only thing I can cook. I've apparently got also a really bad habit of predicting things that are going to be revealed 3 minutes later and stuff.
Yeah, like in summertime rendering.
Yeah, that's
I haven't
been
finished that yet.
Watching
That's been
that
really
with
annoying.
Connor is wild.
it keeps happening. But
Yeah,
speaking
I
of
need to
looping and
finish
keep
it.
happening, why don't we get started
Time
and
to
jump
loop.
into a good loop, maybe? Perhaps,
hopefully.
finally?
Hopefully.
Here's hoping.
All right. 58 is that, or sorry, 57.
57.
Is that Tayaldi?
No,
Oh,
it's Sean.
It's me.
Sean Force. Okay, I'll write that down. All right. Oh, thank you so much. Oh yeah, hold on. Before we get going, let me thank everybody who literally just gave us money. Excuse me. Jesus.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Terrible freaking person. I updated the price too. I meant to do that before. Thank you for reminding me as well. We need to put on those little notifications. Although it's the, I don't know, in our middle of our chats, at least it cues me. Welcome in Ray as a member. Thank you, Connor, for the subs that we needed. Thank you, Chilled. Thank you, Ukrainian Agent. Appreciate you. Thank you, Unknown Ranger, for your gift subs. We appreciate you as well. And thank you everybody who is watching and commenting and all that jazz. That is also incredibly helpful. Oh, yeah! If you haven't already, subscribe, smash that bell icon, and like the video to show us that you like this. And if you hate it, you could downvote it too. Engagement's engagement.
Don't do that. Just like it anyway.
Okay, now we're ready to go. Thanks.
Whoa!
Are we not getting spam with Ananes right now?
Oh, well, I have it muted.
No, okay, it's over. Perfect.
That could be a backup Shala too. A backup Shala.
Back off, it's mine.
Not for
She'll
long.
fight you for it.
All right,
I wouldn't
Sean.
risk it.
Whenever you're ready, just start with reading off the whole title line, and
Okay.
we'll get going.
Arc 6, Chapter 57. Let's disregard that for now.
To be honest, it was nerve-wracking, in fact. But since it was Subaru's request, it had to be endured, I suppose.
Master is an immortal man, you know. I wasn't worried or anything. In fact, I was suspecting the possibility of ankle biter number 2 going off and exploding the moment she stood behind Master.
As she looked at the faces slowly coming up the spiral staircase while exchanging those words, Melee's pale cheeks turned red, and her lips flapped silently as she was at a loss for words. Noticing that change in Melee from the corner of his eye, Subaru raised his hand and called out, "Yo," to the figures on the stairs.
Thanks for covering the rear! I'm relieved we somehow managed to avoid falling.
If it was Subaru's instruction, if you had actually fallen, whether she'd have been forgiven is questionable, in fact. So in that sense, too, you were lucky, I suppose.
Snorting through her nose and lifting the hem of her dress as she climbed the stairs was Beatrice. Behind her was Shala, hands clasped behind her head, the two of them cheerfully and steadily making their way back to the 4th floor from far down the spiral staircase.
What? Oni-san! What exactly is going on with those two?
At the sight of Beatrice and Shala, Melee turned to Subaru in shock. Subaru crossed his arms upon the bewilderment of the young girl who'd been unaware of this.
I mean, I hate to say it, but that plan just now was pretty much a tightrope walk. I'd like to think it doesn't happen often, but there was definitely an Akamari where you pushed me off and I just died, right? It only worked this time because I happened to grab your arms all cool-like.
But One-san was keeping a watch over us, no?
Sure, I get that Amelia-chan is more powerful than her insanely cute looks would suggest, but you never know what might happen. If by chance she tried to save me and fell along with me, it wouldn't be a joke.
In fact, at the end of the previous loop, Subaru and Amelia had fallen from a great height together. He had pulled her close but still couldn't save her. That fact is deeply lodged in his heart. If the same thing happened again, Subaru would like to insist he'd push Amelia towards safety this time, but in a life or death moment, there's no reliable data on how he usually act, or actually act, so banking on that is pointless.
So, I made sure to take precautions so that the worst case scenario wouldn't happen. My thinking was, if the two of them, Beatrice and Shala, were watching from below, it'd probably be fine.
He had witnessed that Beatrice was a skilled magician with his own eyes, and when it came to Shala, albeit the specifics remained unknown, there was no need to confirm that she possessed strength unfitting of her appearance. Just to be sure, during the planning stage, Subaru had her lift him, so there was no doubt about her strength. Though being princess carried in front of Amelia and Beatrice was something he still held a grudge over.
Why go so far? There must have been a simpler and wiser way than yet.
Hearing Subaru's explanation, Melee murmured with her eyes downcast. Her shame over being seen in an embarrassing moment was fading, but what replaced it might have been a lingering awkwardness. Upon her words, Subaru said, "Yeah," as he touched his cheek with a finger.
Just as you said, I think there were easier and wiser ways. I think so, but...
Think so? But...
With how my brain works, easy and compromise are two sides of the same coin. And smart lives right next door to sneaky. I didn't want to take the compromise or sneaky way.
Upon hearing those words, Melee's pupils narrowed and she bit her lips slightly. Looking at her with a wry, strained smile, Subaru clenched his fists. He thought of somehow fixing everything. He wished to somehow fix everything. Therefore, to do something about everything, he would do everything he could.
So, I didn't hesitate to ask Amelia-chan, Beatrice, and the others for help.
That's right. I was also very surprised when Subaru first told me about this.
So said Amelia, still hugging Meili from behind. She rested her chin on Meili's petite shoulder and glanced up towards Subaru.
I knew Subaru was very serious at a single glance. And besides,
Besides?
I was happy that Subaru was willing to discuss with me. Because Subaru always makes preparations to put an end to everything by the time I take notice.
Looking up and smiling, the girl with amethyst eyes made Subaru hold his breath. Subaru's cheeks stiffened, but Amelia, in contrast, relaxed her cheeks and lips as she nodded.
So, I was happy that you asked me for advice on what to do next, and helped me think it through from the beginning. That's a bit strange.
It's pointless to say it, but man, I'm seriously pissed at the me from yesterday. No, wait, being able to see this face and hear this voice is my privilege! So, maybe telling my yesterday self serves you right! Fits better as an event? Amelia-chan, what do you think?
Sorry, I really don't know what you're talking about.
With a smile still on her face, Amelia smoothly brushed off Subaru's nonsense, and he slumped his shoulders. And then, the two who were climbing the staircase below these three finally joined them.
Once again, it's relieving to know that nothing happened, in fact.
Saying nothing happened is a bit misleading, though. In Meili's case, a lot of mental shifts went on. So, it's a case of nothing happened, but something did.
Ooh, Master's amazing as always! I seriously have no idea what you're saying, but when it comes to saying cool sounding stuff with just the vibe, nobody can top you!
Do you actually have any respect for me?
Shala seemed to be impressed by anything she was told regardless of what it was, but when Subaru brought up wanting to help Melee, she was the first one to agree. Of course, it wasn't that she thought it through. She just had it in her head to back up whatever Subaru wanted to do. But even so, having someone like her around was a real help.
Beatrice-chan, you're not mad at me, are you?
Of course Betty's angry, I suppose. But you managed to stop just before Betty snapped, in fact. Considering what happened in the sand dunes, Betty will let this one slide, I suppose. However, the only things that are going to be written off are the events of this trip, in fact. You still bear the sin of burning Betty's forbidden library from the previous mansion, I suppose. As long as that remains, Betty has no intention of forgiving you anytime soon, in fact.
Crossing her short arms, Beatrice answered Meilei's question with a stern gaze. At her words, Meili held her breath, but right after, Amelia let out a soft "ooh" and laughed. Oh god.
It's a little hard to tell, but Beatrice just said for now. So, if Meili behaves, she's saying she'll forgive you properly. She's really kind, isn't she?
Yeah, don't go saying unnecessary things, I suppose.
I'll try to be more careful from now on.
Having the stern meaning behind her words exposed, Beatrice blushed as Amelia smiled at her. Watching that, Meili quietly responded. Watching that, Subaru nodded several times in satisfaction. Finally, maybe now he could say there had been visible progress. At the very least, he managed to stop the actions of a girl who had gotten it into her head to kill Subaru. And yet, that was still just one of the many tragedies this tower held.
So, is this really fine, Master?
As he was deep in thought, Shala casually spoke from right beside him. Standing at his side, she narrowed her black eyes as she watched Beatrice and Meili interacting with Amelia in the center. And as Subaru furrowed his brows, she resumed with the same tone.
The girl who tried to kill Master. Is it really okay to let her go with no reproach?
You sure ask some dangerous stuff. It's fine. Meili's already been punished. But the reason why she was punished? Nobody actually explained that to her properly. That's why it turned out like this. From now on, I'm going to teach her that.
Master says that. But what if she tries to kill Master again?
That'd only happen if I'm exceptionally bad at teaching. But it's not like I'll be the only one at it.
That was how Subaru responded to Shala's questioning. If Subaru were to aim for changing the sense of ethics of an assassin, instilled in her since childhood, all on his own, it'd be incredibly difficult and honestly not a burden he could shoulder alone. However, Subaru did not think of doing everything alone. Even when stopping Melee's rampage, he relied on Amelia and the others. And for what comes next, he plans to have Amelia and Beatrice stick with him too.
Obviously, you're helping too, Shula. When it comes to changing someone's entire worldview, ooh, this is gonna be a long haul.
Me too, huh?
Of course you are. You're... well, you kind of give off a bad example vibe, but I'm not leaving you out. Your body's full of motherly energy, so use that to help break through Melee's stubborn little heart.
As Shala pointed to herself in surprise, Subaru spoke in an easygoing tone and shrugged his shoulders. Subaru had no idea what she was so surprised about, but since she was prone to overreactions, he figured it was just more of the same and didn't press any further. Upon Subaru's judgment, Shala sandwiched her face with her hands.
Me too, huh? Me too? Together with Master, me too?
What's going on with you?
Nothing at all. I've made up my mind. Just like Master said, I'm gonna raise that ankle biter number 2 into a proper human being.
Lighting up with a bright smile, Shala dashed over to Amelia and the others. Then she effortlessly scooped up Melee's small body and pressed her into her ample chest.
Yeah! What the heck? Naked Onesan, you totally surprised me!
It's fine. You can totally lean on me all you want, Anchor Vital. Number 2, my chest belongs to Master. But for now, I'll share some with you too. You know, like that thing about rich giving to the poor?
Hey, Oni-san! You told the naked lady something weird again, didn't you?
Melee, who was being taken advantage of by Shala, decided that was Subaru's doing and raised her voice.
Well, just think of it as the price for making everyone worry. Take the affection like a champ. Don't worry. From the looks of it, there's no ill intent.
Jeez, you people really are hopeless. Fine, I'll forgive you, but what happens here, it stays between us, okay?
As she said that, Melee puffed out her cheeks while she wedged between Shala's breasts. But at Melee's words, Subaru scratched his head with an, Melee furrowed her brows upon his reaction, and in Subaru's stead, Amelia replied to her.
Hey, Melee, this is really hard to say, but...
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Whether Melee's bad feeling hit the mark, the answer became immediately clear from her reaction to Amelia's next words.
Ram and the others, who aren't here, also heard Subaru's request, you know?
Melee gave a dramatic scowl. In the room which was used for meals or conversations, called the main room, awaiting Subaru and the rest when they returned to their main room was Ram, with her hands on her hips.
I see. It's all been resolved safely. Not a bad job. Worthy of some praise.
Greeting the 5 who returned safely, Ram said that with calm eyes. Subaru took that as, in her own way, high praise. Either way, he'd make big claims to her about Melee. He was just relieved he ended up regretting those bold words with an, "I told you so."
There's no need to say this, but she had been awaiting your return standing like this the whole time.
That really was something you didn't need to say. Show some restraint, Echidna.
The moment she realized I'm the one controlling this body right now, that's the attitude she takes. I find it quite agreeable.
The one who spoke and caused Ram's brows to tighten was Echidna, seated on the floor of the main room. She accepted Ram's sharp tongue with a smile, then turned to look at Subaru and the others.
So, what is she so sulky about?
The one Echidna was referring to was Melee, piggybacked on Shala. Wearing a bitter expression and grumbling, Melee didn't answer Echidna's question and turned her face away in a sulky manner. She was completely pouting.
Surely she isn't upset because her plan to commit murder was foiled? If that's the case, I'd be a little uneasy about leaving her unrestrained.
No, definitely not.
Echidna's somewhat alarming assumption likely came from the same wariness she's shown in the previous loop, a sign of her desire to protect the woman who owns this body, Anastasia. Not wanting any strange misunderstandings to arise, Subaru firmly denied it.
It's just that she's embarrassed her thoughts got seen through and that everyone found out. That's all. Kind of childish and cute, right?
Given what she tried to do, calling it childish feels a bit strange. So even without her memories, her core nature doesn't change so easily. You continue to surprise me, Natsuki-kun.
If you are enjoying yourself, then I'm honored. In fact.
Subaru winked at Echidna's gaze, only for Rom to snort through her nose in response. After that, he looked around the room in a wide sweep.
Huh? Julius isn't here? Where is he? Ooh, toilet or something?
Connor.
So sorry. To think I'd be relieving a minor inconvenience while you're in the middle of a crisis. I find that notion rather offensive.
I didn't say it was just a minor one. Could have been the major kind of business, you know.
Hearing the voice from behind, Subaru twisted his lips into a grimace as he turned around. There stood Julius, idly playing with his bangs while giving a crooked smile. As he returned from outside the room, Emilia tilted her head at him.
Julius, did you have a stomachache?
Lady Amelia, I advise you not to take his words too seriously. It's true he's your foremost knight, someone worthy of the greatest trust. But at times his behavior can be unbecoming.
Hey! Don't go putting weird ideas in Amelia Chan's head. You're the one who wasn't here anyway. What kind of shit is that? Acting like I'm the one slacking just because I said toilet?
Glared at by Subaru's dark eyes, Julius loosened his lips. A way of laughter like letting out a breath, truly irksome and befitting of his appearance. But Subaru felt that there was just something wrong with that laughter.
Amelia and Natsuki-kun, there's no need to worry. Following the earlier discussion, Julius was keeping watch outside. Since Melee has the power to control mobbies, if she really planned to act, the greatest threat would be those outside the tower.
That is why I was monitoring the outside from the balcony we found last night. Fortunately, I saw no unusual activity outside the tower. So I believed things were safe inside as well, but...
As he spoke, Julius turned his gaze to Melee. Perched on Shala's back, Melee noticed his eyes and pursed her lips uncomfortably. But at the sight of her, Julius gave a faint smile.
It seems everything turned out fine. And that's a relief. When you said he'd lost your memories, I felt like my whole world was turning upside down.
Isn't that a bit much? I mean, well, I'm the one who lost his memories, so maybe I shouldn't talk.
You're right. Worlds turned upside down may have been a bit much. Just a bit. Regardless, I'm glad everything's alright. If you'd asked even Lady Amelia for help and still failed, there'd be no recovering from it.
Yeah, I'm relieved too. You and me, this back and forth thing, it suits our dynamic, right?
Julius laughed in a stuck-up manner at what Subaru said, with a finger raised. Thinking that the smile did not have that earlier faint vacillation, Subaru also felt satisfied. Technically, this was already their fifth encounter since he began losing his memories. During that time, there hadn't been many peaceful moments, but originally, the time he spent with Amelia and the others should have been filled with far more of them. Surely, within those times, Natsuki Subaru must have had his own way of dealing with them. So, as not to stray too far from that path, and so as not to sadden Amelia and the others, Subaru wanted to follow in the footsteps of Natsuki Subaru as carefully as possible. He didn't want Amelia and the others to have to face the reality that they were in the process of losing Natsuki Subaru.
Besides, maybe they wouldn't have to face that reality at all.
If Natsuki Subaru disappeared, then as long as Natsuki Subaru came back, everything would be okay.
Alright then, let's aim at capturing the tower with this newly reborn, all-friendly Dantai of ours. Any objections?
None. Let's give it our all.
Name, all friendly Dantai, is unpleasant, in fact.
In any case, Emilia and Beatrice both agreed, albeit from opposite ends of the spectrum. With Subaru's raised fist proposal, seeing that no one else had any complaints either, he let out a breath of relief.
So, can we take it that there is no longer any issue with her, correct?
Yeah, it's fine. She's not going to be sneaking around trying to assassinate me over some little thing anymore. That said, whether she stays that way depends on mainly watching our back. So, make sure you don't show her anything uncool or pathetic.
I see. So it is a matter of dignity. Then I want you to leave it to me.
Julius cast his gaze toward Melee and gave a subtle nod, drawing in his narrow chin as he accepted Subaru's words. The word dignity might carry a slightly incorrect connotation, but when it comes to letting others watch your back, in other words, setting an example, Julius certainly seemed like the right man for the job. The present Subaru could not say he had been with him much, but even so, it was plain to see that Julius had a powerful sense of self-discipline, and was refined in every aspect of his conduct. It was the fruit of his own talent, a reflection of his noble upbringing, and at the same time, proof that he made a personal effort to attain all those qualities. He'd gained it through rightful effort. It was something worthy of respect.
Subaru, are you okay? Do you think you'll be able to talk?
Suddenly, Emilius grasped Subaru's arm while he stood with halted breath, looking at him in concern. Seeing how close he was to her, Subaru regained his senses and jumped backwards, flustered. Witnessing Subaru's overreaction, Emilia spilled out a faint, ah.
Ever since you've woken up... No, ever since you said you lost your memories, Subaru just keeps getting surprised by me. Is there something strange about me? Is there something wrong with me?
No! Not at all. There's just your cute eyes and cute nose and cute lips and cute ears.
Cute? Thank you. But if that's the case, then why?
I guess it's because it feels like Amelia Chan's features aren't just the parts added up, but multiplied such that they complement each other. Also, your voice is cute. You're also cute. Oh, this won't do. What an angel.
Subaru covered his face with his hands and looked at Amelia through his fingers, suggesting she was too dazzling to look at. Hearing Subaru's comments, it was Beatrice who responded suddenly.
Try saying that in a more Subaru-like fashion, I suppose!
Huh? What did I do wrong?
When you say the words, Amelia looks like an angel. Do it in a Subaru-like fashion, in fact.
What kind of humiliation is that? Oh, I'm not doing it. It's embarrassing. Beatrice, you're also cute like an angel. Don't sulk.
True that Betty is cute like an angel, but that's not what it's about, I suppose.
Heartbroken, Beatrice lowered her shoulders in dejection. This made him feel guilty, as Subaru then patted her head, Everyone now in formation of a circle in the main room. Now this made for a proper place to converse. It was regrettable that the real progress sought after had not been realized yet, but it was about time to make some bold moves and continue the conversation.
With all that being said, once again, Meili's a part of our team. As she's now entered it in earnest, I would like to hurry up and leave this sandy tower as well, so Meili can get a better look at the world. Any objections?
That manner of speaking really makes one question if you have truly lost your memories. However, while Barasu's memory loss is a rather light problem when compared to more serious ones, it is still an issue.
That's right. It's not like they could have just suddenly disappeared out of nowhere. So we have to make sure Subaru gets his memories back.
About that, how about we disregard it for now?
After raising a hand and seeking approval, Subaru interjected during a pause in Rom and Melia's comments. Everyone in the conversation, not just the two of them, responded with a huh in surprise. The only one not surprised was Shala, but she was too busy tending to Melee after earnestly accepting Subaru's request, so he left her out for the moment.
Subaru, please don't make Betty and the others worry too much, in fact. Your memory loss was sufficiently surprising, yet saying that it's all right to not recover them would be far too self-abandoning, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right, Subaru. Are you maybe thinking that you don't want to cause problems for us? You consulted us regarding Melee, didn't you? So, similar to that, we'll all think together about Subaru's memories as well. Please? Alright?
That was a brutally heartbreaking persuasion! No, but well, listen to me for a second! It's not like I'm saying this out of desperation. There's a proper reason behind it!
That was the excuse Subaru made against Amelia and Beatrice concerned. Following, Subaru raised her finger, making sure everyone could see it, and said, "Listen."
I do think that me suddenly losing my memories in this situation is regrettable, and it really makes me happy that everyone wishes to get them back. However, is there anyone here who thinks this memory loss is unrelated to the existence of this tower?
Master hit his head in the toilet bowl and lost memories before. There's no end to it.
Outsiders ought to remain quiet for a second! What you said certainly can't be ignored, but it's fine for now!
Irritated by the outsider's disruption, Subaru brought the conversation back together by saying, "Anyway."
What I want to say is that there's a relation between the tower and my memory loss. In other words, upon fulfilling the conditions for capturing the tower, the cause behind Natsuki-kun's memory loss, or the key to it, might naturally be obtained. Is that what you mean? Yeah, that's right! That's what I mean!
Subaru nodded several times upon Echidna's words, who had read into Subaru's thoughts. Hearing Echidna's view, Julius put his hand on his chin and said, "I see."
If the tower's mechanism has stolen Subaru's memories, we might get closer to the answer upon capturing the tower. Or, instead, the occasion of Subaru losing his memories might have never happened because he got too close to the answer. It seems quite possible. His insight at the time of capturing Taigeta, to say it plainly, utilized knowledge we cannot possibly ever possess. Due to this knowledge, only Natsuki-kun possessed it. Maybe he went too far ahead of us, and it resulted in him losing his memories. Wait! That would be way too much overestimation! I'm just a shut-in, you know? My specialty is like spreading bedsheets open cleanly and sewing, you know?
Ah, look, Subaru! The embroidery on these clothes. Subaru did it! Did you start remembering something upon looking at it? It's cute, right? This is Puck.
Embroidery of a cute cat. I don't really have an idea.
Digesting the conversation, which required a great deal of thinking ability, Subaru denied Amelia, who was caressing the picture of a cat embroidered on her clothes, downheartedly. Perhaps a cat she had kept and even given a name to. It seemed she had not brought it along to the tower, so he wanted to hurry up and return safely, and make her reunite with her pet. Regardless.
Barusu learned something there was no need for, and as a result, lost his memories out of rashness. Certainly seems convincing. Ram's way of saying it is quite thorny, but Betty generally agrees as well, in fact. Besides, Subaru's thoughts of the tower's capture being prioritized. The prospect seems repulsive, but it does have a point, I suppose.
Beatrice.
Beatrice's dissatisfaction was perhaps directed towards the situation of not giving topmost priority to Subaru's memories, after all. It made him happy from the bottom of his heart that she would think this way, but Subaru had his own reason for not prioritizing his memories. If they leisurely searched around for his memories, they would not make it in time to prevent the tower's tragedies. With what had happened, with what was going to happen, Subaru and everyone else must become one and prepare for those calamities.
And so, I want to prioritize capturing the tower. I want everyone to understand for now, as well. I don't think it's fine if things remain this way either, but my problem can be dealt with later. If we postpone the initial problems, we won't ever reach our goal. I want to do what we need to do.
Subaru appealed to everyone, earnestly. He put in as many efforts as possible to cover the demerits of Natsuki Subaru not being here, and that he wanted everyone to lend their strengths in return. Subaru's request had everyone at a loss for words, however.
Truly, such an idiot,
Sighed Rom, turning her head and looking at everyone with her light crimson eyes.
Even after losing memories, your deplorable intellect does not change. In other words, even if your memories return, there is not much the present Barusu can contribute, so there's no point in prioritizing Barusu's memories. Let's conquer the tower and hope to regain his memories while we're at it.
While we're at it, you say? Don't you have any other ways to put it?
No. You lost your memories while attempting to capture the tower, wasn't it? In that case, kindly find them while we're at it as well. Do not cause Ram problems.
He would definitely remember and get it back. That's what he'd promised Rom. That was why he could not possibly weigh the impact Rom's heart must have received when he said he wanted to postpone matters regarding his memories. However, precisely because of that promise, Rom had said this in the first place. She had made the promise with Subaru, despite him being a habitual breaker of promises.
It's not like there's a way to actively regain memories. I agree with Natsuki-kun and Ram. To be optimistic, there's a chance that time will help bring back the memories.
I would say a passive agreement for me. I shall not give utmost priority to it. I shall prioritize the tower's capture, but should I find a chance to recover your memories, I shall prioritize that. Amelia-sama and Beatrice-sama must not be made to make such a sad expression.
Subaru gave a deep nod in response to Echidna's and Julius's words. He then turned his eyes toward the duo of Amelia and Beatrice. Receiving Subaru's gaze, the two ultimately hesitated a bit.
This time, even if it's tough, I'll be patient, but...
But?
Sometimes, do excuse me for worrying about Subaru the most.
I'm sorry.
Noticing that it was equal to what he had said about keeping the words about him for later, Subaru turned his head down in response to Amelia's request. Seeing the two, Beatrice let out a sad sigh.
Amelia said what Betty wanted to say, I suppose. That was supposed to be the most effective one. So do properly reflect on yourself, in fact.
Yeah, I got it.
Henceforth, gaining everyone's approval, Subaru once again firmed his resolve for capturing the tower. And what Subaru wanted to first propose thus forward was...
How about we all go and search in the Library of Taygeta and see if Reed's book is there?
Yay!
And that's the chapter!
Great first time narrating, Sean.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
Very
Good
timely.
job.
Very much.
I was
Ooh. Oh, welcome
I was
back.
really nervous when I did the Amelia Fufu. I was like, oh god.
It's okay.
I actually had to stifle a cackle. That's what took
I
me
knew it.
out.
I was like, she had a delay. She must have laughed at me.
What?
Poor Sean. It's a
That's what I thought. But I was like, I need to bring up my One-sama.
Nah, you did really well, Sean.
That was good.
Thank you.
Oh, Greeny's out of the car.
Yeah, I'm back.
In the top of
Reed's
that
back.
chapter, he's got a gnome. That's
He left-
crazy.
He left one basement for another.
I know.
Welcome
One
back
prison
to the
for
basement.
another.
All right, before we get started with talking about that chapter a bit, I'm going to thank a few people who were funding us throughout. If it lets me. Okay, come on, YouTube. Come on. Come on.
Well, I should pull up the stream actually.
Yeah, same here.
All right. All we missed was Yusuf Spearman. Happy birthday, Yusuf. Thank
Happy
you so
birthday!
much for the
Happy
donation.
birthday day.
Birthday day. Hi. Thank you all. You guys have been super kind and supportive. I will update
Oh,
this
yes.
goal.
That is me, Chilled. It is me.
That is Sean.
Hey.
The one and only.
Hello, Emanon. Welcome back.
If
Wolf-
Connor isn't back, I can also cover Julius if you want.
I am back. I'm so sorry about that. I took a drink of water
Don't
and
worry.
started choking on it.
I mean, thank goodness you're here.
when Tealdi,
Yeah, I'm fine now.
So I was not expecting you because I did not look at the Discord for like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I hear Tealdi from
Oh, yeah.
Rom. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I looked at it.
Oh,
I looked at
yeah,
the Discord
yeah.
too. I think I was like, wait, what?
Smooth
Yeah,
transition.
I have.
Good for you.
Yeah, I have like half screen for the script, and then the other half screen is Discord. So if any messages pop up, I can see
Mhm.
them.
I
Power
appreciate
of the
it.
dual monitor setup.
I literally started
I don't
groaning
have
while
dual
sitting in a
monitors.
room.
I need to. This is just on my laptop.
Oh god.
Your laptop's
Yeah, so I
holding
just
them.
have like. Oh, it is. It. She's
Oh,
trying her
thank you for
best.
the kind words, Chilled.
You're more powerful than I am, Tealdi. I can tell you that now. I could not do that.
Yay.
It's all I've known since I started my voice acting career.
It's been this way for many, many years.
It has been this way for so long.
this way for longer than I can remember.
Thank you,
We
Avery.
just deal with it now.
Thank you so much, Average.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I guess
Thank you.
questions for the cast, the chat, and those who are watching this as a VOD. What do we think of this chapter? Like, I'm very curious because this is like the first actual proper joking and jovial chapter we've gotten in a long, long time, and the levity feels much needed. I don't know about you guys. I'm floating
Yeah.
on a cloud of
Feels
comedy and
so
happiness right now.
It's nice.
You better savor it.
Yeah.
I love Pouty Melee. We need more.
We do. It's so much fun. I think it's so funny seeing
Less
Beatrice get
murderous.
jealous of Subaru's interactions with Amelia and Subaru having no context to understand why she's jealous because he's
I wish
padding
I
it
were
so
Melee.
hard.
Did you say you wish you were Melee?
Yeah.
Is it because she's getting squashed in Shala's chest?
Huh?
Yeah, there it
Red-handed.
is. There it
There
is.
it is.
I cannot
Yeah.
believe that Shawla line, by the way. Like giving from the rich giving to the
Yeah,
poor.
giving
is
from the rich to the
crazy.
poor.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I nearly lost it when Wolf was doing your cute ears, cute nose, cute lips. I was like, okay, Sean, rein it in. You got a chapter to read. Rein it in.
See, this is why I always push myself to be Shala, because how uncomfy is it to say that kind of shit? But since I'm saying it to Wolf, I don't care. Like, whatever, I'll say it to you. Making
Yeah.
someone else say that, so uncomfy. Like, when I was talking to Fate
Oh,
about it,
yeah.
she's like, do I have to go live? I don't want to say that to your boyfriend. I think that's kind of odd. And I was like, Fate, you're acting. It's fine. She's like, no, I don't want to.
Honestly,
Mr.
Wolf
Spearman,
isn't
thank
too
you
much
for the
of a fan of
$10.
that either, honestly. So
Well, there we go. Works out.
Thank you again, Usif. Happy birthday again.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you
happy
so much,
birthday,
Yusuf. Oh my god.
Everyone's been so kind.
Y'all are the best.
No matter how uncomfortable it is, nothing will stop me from even moaning as Rom if I have to.
That
I
was
will do whatever it
crazy!
takes.
That dude literally sent me.
I'm with you, Simon. I'll do whatever for the content.
Dude,
Yep.
that's
The
crazy.
content is great. Anything for the content.
When Connor
Yeah.
pulled that out randomly on a day, and I was like, Jesus Christ! Calm it down. This is it. This
Tune
is a
that shit
family-friendly show.
It is not. This is rated TV 17.
Oh,
At a minimum,
well
it is
then.
rated TV 17.
No, we can't say anything else where we otherwise have to tag the stream as not friendly to under 18.
Fair
17 is
enough.
fine.
We're totally friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
totally friendly.
It just zooms
The-
into a picture of a fucking traumatized Vietnam veteran.
Also, yeah, instead of minions,
friendly.
you should call them ankle biters, like Shala.
Mhm.
Nah, it's
Like,
it's
instead of
been
minion number
minions
4,
for
it's
so
ankle
long.
biter.
Minions
biter
since
number
the day
4.
we met her.
Yeah,
Yep.
they shall remain minions. Also,
Like-
the spouse wanted, since we had the discussion about the screens, he's like, "You should tell them I have 3 screens." It's like, I will.
3?
Nice.
Yeah, he does programming and computer stuff. So,
That's how
to
the
That's
prove
my work.
victory.
That is my
Yeah,
work
he's-
computer. I have 3
yeah,
screens
he's got
for it.
work set up. So.
I love that he wanted to flex it. That's so wonderful.
Yeah, because he's on the other side of my screen. He can hear what I say. He can't hear all of
That's
you, but he
so
can hear what
cute.
I say.
He's here
So
for
he heard it, and he's like,
everything.
You should tell them.
Oh my gosh, he's
Their
always
husband use
welcome
bass.
on. He can always
Oh,
come say hi.
RF circuit design. He felt the need to correct me.
Oh, okay.
Oh. You had a
Hello,
mansplain
husband
it.
Kun.
Nah, he still can't hear you.
Regulus?
No, no.
Because I have headphones on, so my mic doesn't pick up.
That is fair.
All
Oh,
the
that's
talking,
so
so.
sweet. He gets no
He can only
context
hear
at
me.
all.
Nope, he just hears
Nope.
stuff and he's like, eh.
You are right, Emanon. Teori can do just about any voice well. She contains multitudes. It's true.
Yep,
Contains
yep.
multitudes.
all the multitudes.
Jay Dodley lost internet connection right at the end of the chapter. Oh shit!
Oh,
Find you! Run!
Oh!
Hey, Dudley,
It is-
you
It
have
is
been
okay.
pulling out
50
the quips left, right, and center. They've been unreal.
Mm,
I've been very much enjoying them. I even pinned one. It's in the chat. Every single time you post one, I have to like not laugh so loud.
It is all right if you miss the end. 58 starts with the end of 57, so nothing missed.
Yeah.
We're good.
Woo!
We're golden.
Yeah.
Nothing lost, nothing gained.
All you missed was my beautiful narration.
That's right. That's right. Own
That's
it.
fucking
Own it,
right.
Yeah.
I like to see the
Own
confidence.
it.
It was a really strong
I was
first
about to say
live.
it's a
so
very
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
first
Thank you.
narration. You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, like right out the gate. That was good.
I,
You didn't even
I,
sound
I was like,
nervous.
I had to like mute all the time. Like, oh, dude, I'm like, what if I yawn too? Like, what if I breathe too hard?
That's okay.
Ah,
It's like half
yes.
our coughing.
Like,
Yeah.
I literally choked on water
Yeah.
today. You're totally fine.
Well, there was a comment I
Yeah.
got today, and Connor made a sound, and then I laughed. I think it was around the Ram like moan line, but it sounded like a fart. So the person's like, "Oh, fart caught on camera," but it's literally me going.
Just like, oh no.
95% of the time you hear that sound, that is me trying to restrain my laughter.
I remember
It's like
hearing
it was an
that
expulsion
with
of
the
air,
Roswell
but not
stuff.
from where you thought.
I swear it's my mouth.
Or actually, I also remember hearing you laugh when you had to do the Amelia Dick line when she saw Super.
What?
Arc 2, Arc 2.
Mhm.
Classic Arc 2 line.
I feel like that
Ah, good
read,
times.
at that point, all of us were just like, fuck it. Let's just keep going.
What was it? It's
We
so
ball.
majestic or something to that degree.
You don't have to worry, Subaru. It was splendid. I remember it perfectly.
You don't have to worry,
Yeah.
Super. It's splendid.
Dude, the car has it on rip.
Again, another day where I'm thankful we're dating. If I had to say that to you, I would have been, and like we weren't together, I would have been like,
I would have thrown myself out a window.
You did. You as soon as that ended, you said, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna go throw myself
Yeah,
out a window."
that's what, yeah, he said, I'm gonna RBD out of a window, and I was like, yep, that sounds like Wolf.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, but
That's
none of
right.
your flubs matter, okay? Because I have had them all. Especially way back in the day when we first started. There was this one time Hollow was doing like a commercial, or like just to promote the channel a bit more. He's like, Wolfiana, speak, bitch, and I was eating like a sausage roll.
Sausage roll on my mom.
I was like,
Oh,
what
God,
was free? You could have fucking
sausages.
said.
Time to...
That's
Yeah,
another
but
can
that
of
was
worms.
that. This is
And this is this.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice
was
rolling
clean.
with that segue. Let's get started on this chapter.
let's move into the next
Let's
chapter.
go.
That was set.
All
that
right.
was nice. Everybody ready? Let's go.
I could
Yes.
I could hear the smirk on your face when you said that.
You can fly that
He was ready
whole
with that for a
fucking
while.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up for this one.
All right. It's okay. Here we go. Arc 6, Chapter 58. That is that. This is this.
Subaru, sorry.
How about we all go and search in the library of Taygeta and see if Reed's book is there?
That was what Subaru had suggested as a necessity for capturing the tower, as well as capturing their immediate problem, the second floor. While sitting in a circle, everyone made a puzzled expression upon hearing that.
His book? Are you serious?
Oh, Amelia, you're so serious about books. It's funny.
Oh, Subaru.
Looked at Amelia as she reacted with anger. Her adorable cheeks dyed red. Feeling a sense of bliss due to her cuteness and lovable nature, Subaru then turned to everyone with, "Listen."
Searching for Reed's book. I think this is the quickest and easiest way to capture the second floor. Don't you all think so as well?
I asked this earlier too, but why? I'm not against searching for the book, but I just don't know why we should search for Reed's book in the first place. Besides...
First of all, would Reed Estrella's book truly even be in the library?
Subaru's suggestion, Amelia tilted her head, and Julius conveyed the latter half of her words. Subject to everyone's gaze now, Julius looked upwards with his eyes and eyelashes, which had an affinity with each other, as if glancing at the second floor, which was, perhaps, above the ceiling.
Though indeed hard to believe, the hero who engraved his name in history, Reed Estrella, takes the name of the examination upon himself, and is awaiting our challenge on the second floor. There's no reason to doubt that he is the personage who existed 400 years ago, and still is that very same person. But now there is room to question his death, in my mind.
Seeing how lively he is, did he really even die? I guess my superstition may have been wrong considering this point.
Truth was that Subaru only recognized the fact that he was a dead person from several hundreds of years ago after having heard about it from Amelia and the rest. Should he have been met unknowing of his respective circumstances, it would be truly hard to believe that Reed was a dead person. First of all, he had too much life in him. He was a far too energetic dead person.
Regardless, I think things are at a level where we need not think over this point much. It's inconceivable that he'd lived for several hundreds of years, and he should be dead. Am I right, Beatrice?
Everything. Betty has lived for 400 years, in fact.
Around 100 years for me, I guess. Same here. I suppose if my birth were to be considered, that would make me around 400 years old, though the time I was conscious of that was short. Me too, Master! I've been here in vain for 400 years! I was so lonely. I demand a hug for those 400 years.
This many characters who've lived for that long? Even Amelia-chan?
The objective was to seek agreement, but unknowingly brought objection. leaving him with his jaw hanging. He had never thought that over half of his party members would be characters who had lived for that long. The party's average age jumped up so much that it was not even a joke. Especially when it came to Beatrice and Amelia, he was unable to shut his hanging jaw. He merely thought that he had come to terms with it.
Is that so? Amelia-chan is a half-elf. I'm also convinced she's an unparalleled beauty. The rule goes that half-elves are pretty and live long after all.
Yes. Subaru, even without memories, you aren't scared of half-elves?
If you ask about what I'm scared of that cuteness. It's seriously lethal. If I look at you when I'm half asleep and have my guard down, then my eyes might go blind. To be honest, I'm having to blink frequently, even now.
Jeez, you idiot.
By the slightly pouting Amelia, Subaru got lost in thoughts of this ambiance feeling good, but braced himself up to make sure he did not make such a foolish misunderstanding. Amelia was extremely kind, so much so one could easily get the careless impression that she had feelings for Subaru. His beating heart swayed away. Well, it was fine if it was beating at least.
Oh, at moments like these, you give me a sense of relief, like I've returned to my parents' home, Beatrice.
Somewhat unacceptable, I suppose. But, well, since you're patting Betty's head, you'll be let off the hook this time, in fact. After being thrown into disarray by Amelia, his heartbeat soothed upon caressing Beatrice. It seemed that Beatrice's mood had also been restored, so it served both ends. And, upon the conversation being derailed, Echidna spoke up with, "Would you mind if I say something?" and raised her hand.
It's not like I do not understand Julius's worry, but I want to earnestly endorse a supposition that Reed is a dead person, though it is simply the impression I got when I came in contact with him personally.
And her reason for that would be?
First, just as what Natsuki-kun had said, I cannot conceive that Reed Estrella belongs to a species which lives for long. He is a person who goes beyond the norms in multiple ways, but he is still a human. Second, his personality. Personality? Like his really energetic nature? Energetic to an extent which is rather unheard of. I cannot imagine that the possessor of such a hearty and lively personality would quietly seclude himself to a tower for 400 years. The fact that he has not even met her, Shala, would mean that he had always remained in the room on the second floor. It is very hard to believe. This is my arbitrary impression, but he would probably leave in 3 days.
In response to Echidna's views, Subaru responded with a voice filled with acceptance and reconciliation. Amelia and the others also thought back to Reed's bustling attitude. They all seemed to be convinced by the credibility of Echidna's views. Observing them all, Echidna turned her pale cerulean gaze towards Julius.
So, that is the impression I have. Julius, do you agree?
It is impossible to not agree. Certainly, considering Reed Estrella's real impression, it does not seem like he would stay at the same place for such a long time. The reason behind that is his present self is tied to the tower's examinations. I believe that is how we should consider it.
His existence is tied to the tower.
Echidna and Julius's conversation, he recalled the end of the previous loop. Within the tower, caught in the flames of great chaos and mayhem, Reed was walking around freely and boasted about going outside. Without any hesitation, he had descended from the second floor to the fourth floor, and even pushed the back of Subaru's head. To Subaru, it did not seem like his freedom was constrained whatsoever. The truth was that, had he not possessed the last bit of reluctance, he would have unmistakably left the tower, full of life, his legs at the very same pace. Yet he did not do so, for some reason.
What is it? Do you need something from me?
No.
I believe I also have eyes and nose, ears and lips on my face, but is there any strangeness in that?
Unlike Amelia-chans, they aren't cute at all, so they failed the screening. Regardless...
The conversation had drifted far too distant from the main issue at hand. With that notion, Subaru turned his gaze away from Julius, and once again returned the topic to Reed's book.
Well then, now that we've all agreed to that Reed's a living dead, then let's go back to what I first said. Tegeta has books of the dead. Am I right?
That is the understanding as of now. Memories of the dead flow into the reader's head. Barsu and Julius have confirmed that much. Though, unfortunately, it seems you lost your memories of that as well.
I said I'm sorry! Don't hold it against me! And that is where the focus of this chat lies.
Pointed his finger towards Ram. Perhaps finding that gesture unpleasant, Ram twisted his finger, making Subaru taste pain and scream, "Gah!" Right beside their exchange, Beatrice raised a soft voice. "Ah! So that's what it is, I suppose!"
Beatrice, did you get what Subaru wants to say?
"Yes, in fact. So that's what it is, I suppose. In other words, it means utilizing Reed's Book of the Dead as an essential point for removing Reed from the board, in fact."
Yeah!
Caressing his twisted finger, Subaru affirmed Beatrice's words with a pained expression. Hearing that explanation, Emilia rounded her amethyst eyes and whispered, "Is that so?" Utilizing the Book of the Dead and capturing the dead himself. To summarize, not only was the Book of the Dead a record of one's lifetime, but also elaborately recorded why that person had died, a strategy guide. And should it be put in Subaru's words, a veteran player who had already died 4 times, the cause of his death was not something which could be evaded easily.
So, if we read his Book of the Dead, we'll get to know his cause of death. That would serve as a great strategy. The Books of the Dead may be, in a roundabout way, for that purpose alone, you know?
That is something I did not notice. But now that you mention it, certainly. They have gone out of their way to deploy a dead person as the examiner. It would be odd if that was the aim.
Well, you don't have to agree that quickly.
Subaru rounded his eyes and gave a bitter smile in response to Echidna, who commended him far more than what he had anticipated. Regardless, the situation was such that they could either find a way to capture, or be able to define a bypass to evade it entirely.
This is something I'm saying with personal conviction. Not my present self, who doesn't have memories. But the me with memories must have also tried to test this strategy as well, I think.
Convincing, I suppose. And there's no way Subaru wouldn't test such a loophole, in fact.
That being a road toward evil, not a road towards righteousness. Certainly seems like something Barsu would do. Ram is also convinced.
Yeah. Things that are inequitable, that's something Subaru's really good at.
Who even says inequitable these days?
Touched his cheek in response to the unblurred assessment of Natsuki's Subaru, and Amelia's eyes suddenly twinkled as a reaction. Subaru was surprised by her response, but Amelia immediately afterwards touched her cheek with her finger.
This won't do. Subaru's the one who has it the roughest overall. After all, I gotta get myself together.
Amelia-sama, your feelings are understandable, but your cheeks are flushed red.
Taking Amelia's hand, Ram directed her attention towards what was happening with her. Emilia or Beatrice had been giving overly sensitive reactions from time to time, and the reason behind that was perhaps because of the vestiges of Natsuki's Subaru they could feel. He truly felt guilty and apologetic. He wanted to return Natsuki's Subaru to Amelia and the others as soon as possible. Regardless, in accordance with Amelia and the others' impression as well, it was highly probable that the Subaru who had been there until yesterday had arrived at a strategy of utilizing the Book of the Dead. Hearing Subaru's thoughts, Meili then said, "Ah!" with her hand on her mouth.
This reminds me. Last night I saw Nissan and Taigeta with lots of books scattered all around. I wonder if that's what it was for.
Last night, Subaru was in Taigeta.
By the way, did you get to see what book I was reading?
I don't know that much. Really sorry.
Meili closed her eyes as she remained sitting on Shala's lap, getting her head caressed. Waving his hand, gesturing, "Don't worry about it," Subaru referred to my memories, which were not his own, and arrived at the same conclusion. Among the memories of Meili that he had confirmed with the Book of the Dead, despite having seen Subaru with multiple books scattered around him, he had been unable to see the specifics of that point onward. Therefore, he wasn't very disappointed by the answer to his question. However, it was certain that there had been some sort of abnormality in Natsuki's Subaru at the time he had been in the library of Taigeta, before he scattered the books around, or perhaps shortly after that.
What are the chances of that act itself having some connection with the loss of memories?
A lot of them were scattered around, huh? Perhaps reading books of the dead beyond a maximum possible limit filled up the entire place in which memories are stored. So they overflowed. That would not be possible, right?
I want to think that it shouldn't be possible, but I can't say it isn't possible. Anyhow, I have amnesia!
Then Echidna sighed at the same time before Subaru, who had puffed up his chest and raised a single finger. They had come to a standstill in the discussion of his memory loss, but Subaru did not doubt that the cause of his memory loss was the books. That was why he thought of avoiding letting anyone else read Reed's Book of the Dead, should they actually find it. If someone had to read it, then it must be Subaru, who had already had his memories disappear once. It would not be of much consequence should they disappear again. No, by now, Subaru also had too many memories he could not let disappear. The events of the previous loop, the events prior to the previous loop, along with that, the things he had committed to his heart in this loop, or the promise with Ram, and what he pledged to Meili. What was this? Already his hands were full of stuff which must not be forgotten, despite merely being here for a few days and repeating 4 times. This was why memories were valuable, priceless, and difficult to part ways with. They must not be forgotten.
Subaru?
I'm alright, I'm alright.
Upon Amelia's call, Subaru awoke from his silence and regained his composure. Then, clearing his throat and glancing at everyone's faces.
With all that being said, I propose heading to Taigeta. That guy, hero of the past, or the legendary so-and-so or whatever, will have had his achievements in life handed out to the hereafter. Instead, there also be any failures or weaknesses he left behind, and we'll straightforwardly attack those points as a fame tax.
You sure are confident, speaking of something you've heard someplace else.
It's because I never thought there'd be a chance to use a strategy like this in real life to capture this tower! If the opponent's true name is known, then even the cause of their death and their noble phantasm could be determined! This is what you truly call a modern-day knowledge Urasawa!
True name?
No phantasm, I suppose. Emilia and Beatrice tilted their heads hearing Subaru's words, who had his fists clenched with strength. That was mere persiflage, so he did not get into its details. but it was unmistakable that Reed Estrella, in this world, was a personage famous enough to have had his name etched into history.
So, in other words, that guy's cause of defeat is a fame tax? That is quite novel of a weakness, isn't it?
I'm so sorry. I keep having coughing fits. I'm gonna have to stop for today. I'm
Oh,
so
Connor.
sorry.
Tail, you got Ram?
Yeah, I got it.
You want me to handle Julius?
Sure.
That would be great. Thank you.
Don't die.
Drink some Wawa.
Barsu's aim is understood. Ram is convinced as well, though Ram certainly has some anxiety about it.
Is it worth trying, huh? My. Simply thinking about how difficult it'll be to find a single book out of that vast quantity of books makes me feel heavy.
Ignoring Subaru's frivolous comments, Ram and Echidna raise their hips. Emilia, Beatrice, Melee, and Shala follow shortly afterwards. Subaru also got on his knees and stood up, and then glanced at Julius, who was lagging behind.
What's up? Are you against it?
No. There's no other breakthrough solution either. Also, considering that the proposal was initiated by you, I shall recognize its validity.
But there's still something on your mind?
That would be a problem of my own. I want you to disregard it.
Shaking his head left and right, Julius stood up at that spot. Since it was impossible to disregard it even when told to do so, Subaru only got more concerned.
I'll disregard it for now. By the way, with the exception of the Book of the Dead, just how famous is Reed? It feels like it'd be at like a crazy level.
It seems like that was quite the powerful remembrance, for memories that were spilled in bits and pieces. It seems that some still may remain. Reed Estrella is one of the 3 heroes who defeated the witch who existed in the past.
The Sage Shawler, the Divine Dragon Volcanica, the Sword Saint Reed.
Sage refers to Master, not me.
Going by your logic, I'm also several hundred years old? I've lived a time way too terrible between leaving the convenience store and waking up in the morning.
Rather than simply taking Shella's speech with a grain of salt, Subaru ignored it after tasting the flavor of only a small percentage of what she had to say, and dug deeper into the legend of Reed, whereby he was spoken of as one of the 3 great heroes. With respect to that topic, Emilia and the others' glances were directed towards Julius. Julius accepted their gazes, and whilst touching his bangs...
Certainly, there was no time to recite the legends Reed Estrella etched into posterity in all parts of the world. Speaking of things he was famous for, the fight in which he slayed 100 dragons, or his battle achievement of 6,000 undefeated victories recorded in the battle arena of Gladiator Island, an existence called to be a fierce god, and the victor of drinking competitions. Such novelties are also there.
All of that sounds so stupid. But after having met the real deal...
It feels that they had not been exaggerated. After knowing that strength, unhesitatingly that he would... No.
Huh?
Within what I am aware of, all anecdotes regarding him retell his achievements and such. His personality, or records of human failures and defeats. There are no memories of things like that.
Touching his bangs, that was how Julius brought the display of information to a finish. Hearing what he had spoken of made Subaru tremble slightly, due to the fact that he had no records of defeat. It would be fine if there were no such records left. It surely could not be that he simply had never been defeated. Subaru shuddered, thinking that him being undefeated for his entire life was a relevant possibility.
Oh, we're here.
Whilst they were conversing, they arrived at the room which had the staircase connecting to Tegeta. Further up would be the library filled with books of the dead, and the 3rd floor Tegeta would welcome them.
Ram, would you mind guiding everyone for a bit? There's something I want to talk about with Julius.
With Julius? Ram furrowed her eyebrows in response to Subaru, who had halted his feet. Julius was also surprised to hear those words, but for the moment he did not object to it. Seeing them, Ram narrowed her light crimson eyes and sighed, looking back into Subaru's black ones. A sigh which revealed grief, or perhaps understanding. Make sure you make it quick. It will get completely out of hand if Ram and the others also lose memories upon reaching there like Barasu.
Don't say such scary shit. Though, if Amnesiac Ram becomes meeker and more elegant, it'd sure be a sight to see.
Ram does not intend to forget anything more.
You're right. Please make sure you don't get close to any weird book if you spot one.
With that exchange done, Ram was the first one to start climbing the staircase. For the moment, he did not worry about misjudgments, should it be left to her. Amongst all the party members, he assessed Ram to be utmost worthy of such trust. That being said...
Melee, be ladylike. Hold hands with Amelia-chan, or something at least.
That is really upsetting. You don't have to treat me like a burden like this. Naked Onesan already has grabbed my hand, even though I don't want to grab hers.
With one of her hands taken by Shala and the other by Amelia, Meili was taken to Tegeta. Behind her was Beatrice, and last in line was Echidna, who looked back upon stepping onto the staircase.
Natsuki-kun?
Hmm?
Please do be gentle.
Leaving those words behind, Echidna headed to the upper floor. Subaru scratched his head while viewing her back. It seemed that Echidna had probably seen through the reason why Subaru had Julius remain here. And with the departure of all the women, the only ones left standing before the staircase were the duo of Subaru and Julius.
So, what did you want to talk about? You have gone out of your way to keep Emilia-sama and the others at a distance. Can I believe that is something very important?
Something very important. Well, I guess so. Maybe.
What an unclear way of speaking.
It's the kind of thing that's difficult to speak about clearly.
Subaru scratched his black hair in front of Julius, who had his back turned to the staircase. The reason why he had Julius stop here was to confirm certain things. This also included all of what he had been concerned about in the earlier conversation as well.
Subaru?
Just wait. I'm organizing my thoughts right now.
Subaru pondered, pulling the thread of the problem which was tangled greater than expected. He had left the search for the book onto Amelia and the others, and had told Julius to stop here. The main focus of it being, of course, Reed Estrella. Along with that, floating in Subaru's mind was the previous loop, one of the acts of this great battle royale. Having gained freedom, Reed would battle Julius one-on-one, choosing that to be the reason for his final bit of reluctance. Despite there being countless obstructions in the situation, there had been a scene truly deserving being called a one-on-one battle. However, the difference in their actual ability, perhaps including this aspect of being a psychological issue too, was absolute. On top of that, he had heard that Julius had already fought, suffered, and swallowed defeat at the hands of Reed once. Adding that to the situation, Reed held some sort of attachment towards Julius. Whether that was towards the person named Julius, he could not help but feel that was the key to deciphering Reed. However, the problem was how to utilize it.
What do you think about Reed? Do you like him?
What significance does that question hold, I wonder?
Well, I just tried making the atmosphere less serious. The real one needs to be said just a bit differently. What I really mean is, do you have the motivation to win against Reed?
Subaru had spoken with one eye closed, made Julius widen his yellow eyes. Witnessing vehement turmoil levitate in those eyes, Subaru took a short exhale. He felt this to be both expected and unexpected at the same time.
Disregarding stuff I'm not aware of myself. This is a situation where carrying away in fright isn't allowed, you know. They say the habit of losing starts becoming difficult to get rid of.
Subaru, you are...
Wicked, eh? The truth is that even I, after taking time and doing some things, do think that your daunted heart must be made to stand up again. I do think that. But there's no such time. You get it, right?
Receiving Subaru's question, Julius stiffened his cheeks and halted his breath. Subaru and Julius interpreted the implication of the words, "there's no such time," differently, yet he did possess identical unrest. And surely, this was something the Subaru of up until yesterday was unable to do, speaking the words which had to be conveyed to this wounded man, who did not realize the restlessness of his own heart, and making him realize. Perhaps Natsuki Subaru was doing what Natsuki Subaru could not, believing that this would be a certain strike for breaking through the deadlock of this obstructive situation.
I'll say it clearly, Julius. If you ask why, then that's because, right now, I'm invincible.
Invincible, huh? That is quite a big thing to say.
Of obligations. I can't stand seeing you all curled up after you've looked at me in the eye, looked at Echidna in the eye, and have spoken about Reed. I've got a nature that makes me influence people, so I can't really say for others. But I'll just close my eyes and say it clearly.
I shall listen.
Inhaling, adjusting his seated posture, Julius stared towards Subaru. Accepting that earnest gaze, Subaru resumed.
That is that. This is this.
Huh?
Julius gave a dumbfounded response to Subaru's confident declaration. With that Julius before him, Subaru opened his arms wide and...
I know it got awkward since you were looking at me. The me until yesterday probably was responsible for doing something to you. What that me from up until yesterday did won't disappear from this world, but it has indeed disappeared from my mind.
I suppose so. That is correct. However, I am...
Hear it till the end. Since I'm in that state, there's a need for us to establish our relationship from scratch. At the very least, that goes for the relationship with my present self. Forget about the me who was there until yesterday for now.
With the tides of conversation taking a rather brutal turn, Julius yet remained unable to recover from drowning in his earlier unease. A terribly overbearing logic. He had not managed to fully convey what he wanted to whatsoever. The truth was that Subaru was borrowing the strength of Amelia, Beatrice, Julius, and the rest, whom had been influenced by Natsuki Subaru, those being his achievements. However, right now he would borrow merely the positive aspects of that influence and discard the negative ones. Besides,
In our party, you're the strongest. That's why it'll be you who will be clashing with Reed. Even if we find the strategy guide, all well and good, the fighting will still be on you.
of course, he had also considered Reed's attachment, the opponent's desire to have a one-on-one battle with Julius. However, Subaru did not intend to surrender the spot, even if he ignored the fact that Amelia had already secured victory. Ram, Shala, Echidna, Meili, Beatrice, out of everyone Subaru knew, surely nobody would be willing to surrender before that scene.
I understand you're scared. I also understand you're perplexed. I deeply apologize on behalf of the me from up until yesterday. Consider all of that. Switch over and fight.
I've already lost to him. Twice.
I know, but next time, win!
The number of defeats was higher by one from what he had known. However, in this circumstance, it was unrelated and of little significance.
will eventually be wrong if you don't win. I thought of various matchups in my mind, but before having the girls do their best, we, the men, will have to do our best. Or it'll be a disgrace to knighthood.
Disgrace. My current self. Bringing disgrace to knighthood, huh?
Subaru, who had his fist clenched out, Julius closed his eyes and whispered with a soft tone, lowering his head. Astonished, confused, wounded, defeated, and now, finally, by means of a logic akin to violently being grabbed by the collars, Julius was trifled by Subaru's words. That was something which made him change his elegant expression into one far unlike what Subaru had expected.
Just as how Miss Rom had stated, I have started to doubt whether you have truly lost your memories. Or perhaps instead, are you pretending to not have memories in order to stop me from abandoning the sword out of fear?
I'd go that far? Even making Amelia Chan's smiling face clouded? You idiot! I'd never do something so roundabout. Besides, above all, even without me doing that, you'd still not let go of the sword and fight for everyone, wouldn't you?
That is contradicting. You are truly trying to put strain on my cowardly heart right now, huh?
No, that's wrong. What you lack isn't courage. You've got courage properly packed up, in here. What you lack is the determination to win. The spirit of rivalry. Competitiveness.
Subaru got one step closer, having his clenched out fist touch Julius's chest. Receiving his words and his fist, Julius inhaled. Subaru's words possessed no lies. In the earlier loop, desperate as it was, despite being driven into a corner against the witch beasts and Reed, Julius did not let go of his sword, did not lose to despair, and conveyed the words, "I am leaving that to you," to Subaru. And should the other side of those words be seen, they could not mean anything else but, "Leave this to me." Under those circumstances, Julius had certainly said, to leave Reed Estrella up to him. And witnessing him say so had been the end. And that was why.
I haven't seen the conclusion, nor my memories of everything until yesterday. Therefore, I've not been acquainted with you losing to Reed, even once.
Julius Jaculius, had not lost. This knight, this man, had not lost even once in front of Natsuki Subaru. That was why, no matter what anyone may say, Natsuki Subaru would not surrender the settlement. He would persist, expecting Julius Jaculius to defeat Reed Estrella.
Estrella, up to you. Defeat that utmost troublesome enemy. In exchange, I'll try my hand, using my own ways, at everything else. Can't you hear me, Julius? Answer your friend's expectations.
Earlier had been to put the weight of expectations on him. Now was to forcefully drive hope onto him. Subaru's fist prodded Julius's chest once again. That single gesture made Julius touch his chest. Continuing to have his hand touch his chest, Julius stepped back and took a deep breath. A deep, 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 deep breath, and...
How come you, having lost memories of everything until yesterday, are able to expect that much from me?
That's the kind of ISO I had. Kind of like my impression. Like your looks, the way you talk, the way you behave, what you wield, what you wear, the way you eat, the way you walk. It's the art of synthesizing from all that kind of stuff.
Subaru replied without alluding to the events of the previous loop, making him clench his chest in ache. Without even planning to, both Subaru and Julius faced each other while touching their own chests with their hand. At the same pace, Julius corrected his posture while still having his hand at his chest, and slowly raised his hips. With elegant, beautiful, natural conduct, seemingly something a knight in some story would do.
Impression, huh?
Yeah, it's the way you appear. Your everything makes me expect this much.
Is that so? My appearance made you think that way, didn't it?
The tone of Julius's voice changed as he remained to have his head lowered. Until then, Julius's tone of voice gave the impression of being touched someplace difficult to touch. But now, though extremely slight, strength returned to it, softness lodged abode, warmth budded into it once again. Giving such an impression to Subaru, Julius raised his head and looked forward, and
Forgotten by the world, forgotten by you, the only one who remembered me. Failing to ascertain my master's existence, it became unclear where myself was. However, despite being in that state, everything I have fostered until now has not disappeared. That is what I would like to say, at least.
Not so wise or collected. But that's what the nuance is.
Julius accepted Subaru's shoddy and convoluted words in a wise, polished form. Subaru had thought that he had not been able to convey 100% of what he wanted to just a moment ago. However, he felt that the listener had selected something close to those 100% he wanted to convey.
Well, it was kind of like a conversation on notions. I guess you could call it a psychological discussion. But it felt like the psychological problem was serious. So, was I right?
Why would you become timid with regards to that? Were you not supposed to be invincible, I wonder?
Well, even if Mario picks up a star, if he falls into a hole, he still dies, you know?
Though Julius furrowed his eyebrows hearing the illogical metaphor, he did not press further. It seemed like that was something also associated with Natsuki Subaru, and that it was an understood notion to ignore his meaningless banter. So it felt unquestionably strange. Regardless.
Have you become a bit more forward-looking now?
Well, I wonder. Ultimately, your words were destitute in concreteness and were more of psychological discussion, and it is not as if all of the various things which happened to me have changed dramatically.
You...
However...
Pausing his words there, Julius narrowed his eyes whilst looking at Subaru, and suddenly loosening his lips.
That is that. This is this.
With unbefitting words, he concluded this exchange.
Woo! Chapter 58! Amazing
was
job,
amazing.
Sean!
Thank you.
Good job!
I tried to put on my elegant pretty boy voice, and I hope that I succeeded in that.
You did great.
You
It was
great,
good.
You did amazing.
Very good.
Connor was lurking in the chat, so he didn't have to do this scene.
Yeah.
And you got praise from Julius himself.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Julius.
Mr. Euclides is like, yo.
Julius, Subaru ship so real. So
Dude,
real down that hill.
Dude, I love a good Subaru Julius chapter.
It just hits so hard. Oh my god, Dudley. This convo was basically an endgame Persona social
really-
link rank up.
Oh, by the way, Wolf, I have to ask you.
I am thou.
Would
thou art I.
would Reed be Berserker?
Okay. No,
I get
Reed
the
would
joke.
Be Saber.
I was thinking that too. I get the freaking Noble Phantasm joke now that I've been playing Fate. Stay
Yeah,
Night.
so when I was going through my edits for this chapter, I realized that there was a Fate reference that was kind of missed, and it was actually like contextually perfect for what was being explained. So I was like, yes, I got to put it in there. It was so awesome.
Yes!
We got Fate and Super Mario.
Yeah, that
Yes,
Mario one made me laugh.
For maybe
Okay,
people that-
He'll still die if he falls down a hole.
yeah,
It does not protect from fall
But
damage.
He's invincible. Title card.
Jill was so real for that.
Well, wait, I just said something in chat. It could be taken two different ways.
Yeah, I was about to say, goddamn, Sean, jeez.
I mean,
Louise.
well, we will be working on the Last If script soon, so if you guys really want that, who knows? You know?
Pause.
Pause, pause.
Hold on, maybe you're cooking too hard. Maybe cooking too hard. I know. So,
Step away
for
from the
those-
kitchen
Too
for a
many
bit.
cooks. Too many cooks.
For those who don't know Fate at all, basically what that is in reference to is in Fate, there's a mechanism known as the Throne of Heroes, where great heroes from history get like copied, their personalities, their powers, and their name into this throne. And it's like data basically, and they can be summoned as servants. And one of those servant classes is Saber, which is a swordsman, which would be very appropriate for what Reed is.
Seba.
But Reed is on the level of hero that he would be like a really OP servant from Fate, is the best equivalent.
Bazaka.
And Subaru's basically making the reference of, wow, if we read his Book of the Dead, not only will we know his true name, we'll then know his noble phantasm because we know his true name, which is a whole
Yeah, you
part
don't
of
wanna-
Fate. You're like, yes, I found out your weakness because I know your name, you fool!
Everybody's probably seen Saber before. They just don't know it.
Seba.
Seba!
She is ridiculously popular.
As she should be. That's
Yeah,
my
I
king.
love her. She's in Honkai Star Rail now.
Wait,
Ooh.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so is Archie.
Oh shit, I might have to start playing Honkai Star Rail just for those two.
Yeah, dude. If you
Genshin in
play,
space
if
with
you-
a train.
if you play in Japanese and you do Archer's ultimate, he legit says the whole "I am the
Oh, he does the
sword
whole
of my
UBW
bone."
chant?
He does the whole chant.
Oh, that's so cool. Because it's normally shortened in most games.
Yeah, and so as long as you just like don't activate his ultimate, he says the whole thing until you activate his ultimate. Then he says "Unlimited Blade
Blade
Works."
works! That's so fucking sick.
It's
Okay.
so freaking cool.
I'm being too nerdy, ReZero, everyone!
One of
Hey.
Chase's favorite fanfics is a ReZero Fate fanfic.
How
so-
dare you call me
Yeah.
out? Yes, this is true. There's a really good one.
I-
Seriously.
Dude, I wrote a ReZero fanfiction. Come on.
Oh, fuck
We're all
yeah.
nerds here.
It's so nice to have wholesome chapters. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a
been
nice
so
change
long.
of
Yeah.
pace, eh?
And like I said before, I love Subaru Julius chapters, like the
Oh,
one in Arc
so
5
much.
when they're talking about like the armor around the heart. I love that chapter.
It's nice to not have to narrate descriptions of people being
Yeah.
Like
Murked
eviscerated,
in.
literally.
various.
Yeah.
It's nice to assuage the nightmares.
His insides were now outside.
Pretty much.
And the insides of those insides were also
Well,
outside.
Yeah, I hear you, Connor. I like being mad at Subaru chapters too.
I definitely like this one. It's interesting the reset of Subaru and Julius's relationship. How they're pretty honestly chill. If you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's
We
like
don't-
everything's changed, but nothing's changed.
It's very much their relationship previously if it was toned down on like the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Super
Yeah, it
egos.
probably helps that.
Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, I'll say it probably helps that he doesn't remember being beaten half to death.
Yeah, I was about to
Helps.
say that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It does help, yes.
Yeah.
But it's also
But
just
I can never be mad.
it's just so fun seeing like the interactions between Subaru and Amelia are really cute in this chapter too. Hearing Amelia chant, even me saying that gives me physical fucking pain. But it's just so cute seeing how Amelia is getting really worked up, seeing how much Subaru cares about her.
It's so cute.
It's like she forgets he's in love with her or something.
I
Goddamn
don't know how you
seconds.
could forget that.
Dog is all obsessed with her. What the hell, girl?
I think the melee stuff is funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. No,
I'm
help,
still- I'm-
please!
Take
I'm
me
still
away.
gonna say it. Should have been me. Should have been me.
Should have
Should have been me!
Should have been me, baby. I'm her number one fan. Not really, actually. I like her a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
You
Yeah,
Carol
for
fan.
five for that role.
Well, yeah, because
Misty.
I like having cute anime girls as my profile picture, and she's
As
from
you
my
should.
favorite series.
But what about cute anime boys? Julius is just on fleek.
Not until there's a kissing scene.
Yeah, literally.
I'm waiting,
Comments
I'm
so
waiting
real
until
for
we
that.
get. I'll wait until we get an animated version of one of his alternate outfits later. So
I'm
Ooh.
I'm betting that of all of like the weird ReZero, I say weird ReZero content. I mean not safe for ReZero content out there. The majority of the Yaoi stuff is probably Julius and Subaru. I
Yes.
would not be surprised.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
you know,
It is.
It's got
Obviously,
that
you know,
whole
do you?
tension and everything. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
CK
feel
only
it. Yeah,
texts you
Felix.
too.
Oh, it's Felix, eh?
Let's keep
Oh.
running.
Hi, I'm Felix.
Let's get some Subaru Cruise fan art going.
It already.
Super-
Trust
Yeah.
that shit exists.
I guarantee it's
Yeah,
probably
I know.
out there.
I
It's
follow
pretty
an artist that
hot. I'm
draws
not
a lot
gonna
of
lie.
Oh, I'm seeing the
that.
wholesome
Still
fan
sees
art.
the
What?
vision. He sees the vision.
I see it.
Yeah.
I get it. We had Gear. Gear used to be a consistent person on this
Dude, I
channel.
know.
He would run things. Well, no, he would be like, "Don't look at my Twitter. Don't look at my Twitter. Stay away from me."
Too late for that, dude.
The minute he told me, I was like, "All right, well, see you later. I'm gonna go
See-
check it out now.
Yeah. See, you would tell us not to look. We're gonna look.
I'm gonna look."
Fanship with a Fanon kid. Yeah, they what's the Fanon name for the kid? They always say it's Leo or whatever, something like that.
For Julius and Subaru.
No, for Subaru.
What?
Subaru and who?
Oh,
Cruise.
Leo, that's a cute name.
Yeah, that would work. That's so cute.
Why not? Why not 2019 Subaru Fit?
Roll up in the Subaru Forester 2001.
Oh,
This
Yeah,
is my these are my sons Chevy, Toyota, Honda, and there's PT Cruiser, but we don't talk about him.
the disgrace of the family.
That's the redheaded stepchild.
What Connor says is true, by the way. There is a Gear Easter egg in the ReZero podcast. See if you can find it.
There is.
I think I know what it is. I'm not sure. I need to look at the.
Gotta look at the desk.
Gotta look at the
Yeah.
desk. We have some really funny Easter eggs in the background of that the podcast.
I
I
need to
still like
add
the
more.
local man ruins everything.
Once I
I
catch
still love
up
that little joke.
in the next few weeks, that desk will be more cluttered. It hasn't had an
Oh.
update in a while. Because when I edit it, I can't listen to it, so I have no idea what they're saying.
So you gotta
Yeah,
catch
isn't
up.
it the dojin on the table?
Yes, you bet.
No, it's a
See,
very
I-
wholesome comic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've read it. I know it. I
I know it!
Oh, no.
You can
Statement.
thank you
First
can
time
thank a
with
kidnap
us.
for that.
Thank you, Echidna. Also, a helpful person on the
Connor.
show. Shut
So the chapter.
Connor, can't let the secret be out.
We know ball. We know ball.
Anyways, I think this craziness is our good ending point before we all dox ourselves of what
Yes.
we enjoy in our spare time.
Well, I didn't say I read it. I didn't say I read I didn't say
Thank
I
you
read
all
it.
for being here today.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Don't listen to what she has to say.
We'll see you all this Friday for our fun party. Bye bye.
Ooh, yeah.